All right, in this video, I want to talk more about the cover two defense and playing zone and all the things that we want to think about to make sure that we are, playing as best as we can within the framework of the defense. So let's talk about zone coverages. First and foremost, let's talk about everyone's area in the zone. So the ends are responsible for this portion of the field. The middle linebacker is responsible for this part of the middle. The other end, as you may imagine, is responsible for this side of the field. And then the safeties have a big job. They are playing deep halves. So like we said in some of the other videos, cover two, you are covering half the field. Two safeties, they each have to cover half the field. Now, of course, these rectangles I drew are not perfect. You can see that. You should know and understand that. It's just to give you an idea. But one thing I did want to do is draw these rectangles very deep for the safeties, and that's to illustrate one thing: is that the safety's primary job in basically in almost any defense, the safety's primary job is to not let anybody behind them. They're called safeties for a reason. They have to keep us safe. They can't let anybody pass them. So I wanted to really illustrate that with these boxes. That, yes, they go side to side this way, but they also must go back. And the safety's first step is always going to be back. We talked about this in practice before in a few days ago. But if I'm the quarterback, one thing we're going to work on this year with quarterbacks is really watching the safeties and taking advantage of them. If I'm the quarterback and I see the safety go this way, move down, then I know it's not going to take long before I can get my wide receiver past him. And in cover two, when you're splitting the field in half like this, if this safety steps up at all, it's going to be very easy to get that wide receiver behind him. So one of the things we just absolutely have to work on this year with safeties is making sure that their first step is back. They are not ever taking a step forward unless the ball is in the air or the running back or someone has the ball carrying it beyond the line of scrimmage. Then they can step forward. Otherwise, they are back and they are ready to play deep halves of the field. So safeties, cover two, you have to get back. You have a huge job here because we've got three guys up front. And that's just the way it is. So it's cover two defense, safeties, huge job. We've gotten beaten on it so many times over the years. It's just one of the ways that we get exposed, right? Is if there's a run fake, safety comes up, all of a sudden this guy's run by them because the safety's looking back in the backfield, and then all of a sudden it's a toss over our head. So got to get that solved this season. Let's talk about the ends. So the ends job is this third of the field over here. The ends first job is pass. They are pass first players, but they of course are up close to the line of scrimmage. So that means they also need to support the run. Both ends also can have a tough job because one strategy that we use against a lot of teams is we really try to spread our guys out wide. And when we spread our guys out wide on offense, that makes the ends kind of nervous and they feel like they need to come out. And then now all of a sudden there's big gaps on the field. So one thing that our ends are going to do is our ends are going to align in a way that allow them to still cover this section of the field, but not feel like they have to be right in front of our receiver. We don't have to be that way. We can still cover our zone right here without being directly in front of him. And there's a few reasons for that, but the primary reason is that as long as you have this zone covered, even if the receiver catches the ball right here, you still have help. And you still have help. Also, especially at this age in 4th and 5th grade, if the quarterback's the farther out this Y is, and if he goes straight here, that's actually a pretty long pass, that diagonal. So if we picture, let's see, if we picture a triangle right here, the longest, those of you math guys, the longest section of the triangle is right here, right? That throw is so far that if our ends are quick, they can actually jump the route. So all this is to say that ends, we want you aligned in your area, in your zone. You don't have to be so far to line up right in front of him. You can still protect your zone in the same area regardless of where their receivers are aligned. Same thing on both sides. Middle linebacker. Middle linebacker also has an extremely tough job here. And one of the reasons why the middle linebacker's job is so hard is because really good offensive strategies involve doing a lot of crisscross patterns. So when this X comes through here, and this guy comes through here, and the running back comes through here, all running through this middle linebacker's zone, it's really tough. Who do you cover? Let's see if we can make it a little bit clearer here. So the middle linebacker has to know who to cover, when to cover them, and when to let them go. And that brings us to one of the first concepts that we will talk about in zone coverage, one of the kind of rules of thumb, let's say, and that is in zone, you can let one person go, but you don't let two people go. And so here's what that means. Let's make sure we're on the right color here. If the center is going deep and blasting through the middle linebacker's zone, while the middle linebacker has the center in his zone, he's covering him. As soon as he gets out of his zone, he lets him go. Because oftentimes there will be another route coming straight through. So the rule is you let one go, but not two go. So the center comes in, you cover him, he goes out of your zone right here, you let him go. As you're letting him go, you look backwards, you look back, because presumably you're covering your guy, you're looking at him, you're looking at the quarterback. As soon as you let him go, you're turning your head side to side and you're seeing who's coming. And the middle linebacker will let him go, and the middle linebacker will see that X is coming. And so the middle linebacker knows to take him. So now the question is, what happens if he keeps going? Well, based on our rule, you let one go, you don't let two go. So based on our rule for simplicity, we are going to take him. And we're going to go wherever he goes. And as you might guess, that now leaves the middle of the field open. But we can talk about what happens next. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's look at this same route from the end's perspective right here. From the end's perspective, same rule, he can let one go, not two. So X comes through his zone. As X comes through his zone, we pick him up, we go, 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 go. Guess what? We let one goes through, we let the first one go. We now look back and see if anybody else is coming. So if we look back and see if anybody else is coming, now we're ready for the running back in case he comes this way, or the Y in case he comes all the way across. This end is ready. So now what happens if this end lets one go? He sees the running back this way, the Y is going this way. He's all alone. What do we do if we're all alone? Before we leave our zone, we look, no one's coming, we see no one's coming, we go ahead and get back, we try to help. So that means whoever's shaking loose. So if somebody's shaking loose deep, he needs to know to go deep. If someone is shaking loose or flooding the other side, we know to go help out on the other side. So the end stays in his zone, lets one go, double checks that no one's coming to his zone, then he goes and helps out. So let's look at the same thing that happens from this end's perspective. This end's perspective on the snap of the ball, the person who is closest to him is the Y. So we can play around with what the Y does. Let's say the Y just does a little hook route right here, out of his zone. Doesn't need to run up and pick him. Can wait in his zone. If the quarterback is turning to throw, yes, of course, you can make a play on the ball. But otherwise, he's just doing a short route. We can let him catch. Let him catch and pull his flag. We don't go out of our zone. And look what happens. So let's say the Y does that. He stays there, doesn't leave his zone. X comes all the way across. Now he sees the middle linebacker coming with the X, because based on the middle linebacker's job, he let the center go. He has to go here. All right. No one came into his zone yet, but the first guy coming into his zone is now covered by the middle linebacker, and now is in a spot where he has to decide, do we double cover this guy? Well, before we double cover this guy, we better make sure that, we better make sure that that there's nobody else getting shook loose, basically. So if this Y, he sees middle linebacker's got him covered, his first instinct should be to take the first person coming into his zone. We can let one go, can't let two go. So let's say he keeps going like this. He can let him go still, can't let two go. If the Y came through, he'd take whoever's the second one and go with him. So it's getting a little complicated, so let's roll it back. Try some more scenarios. Let one go, not two. That's basically the key. So we can draw up lines to make it really complicated, and we will do that and talk about how it goes, and there are ways to shake people loose. But keep in mind, we still have safeties behind us. So let's see how it goes. Let's send everybody deep. X comes through, does a post. End comes through, takes him. We can let one go, can't let two. As soon as he gets here, comes back. Center, blast through here. Middle linebacker, lets one go, can't let two go. Stops here. Y, we're going to just send them all deep. End, same thing, lets him, gets close, lets him go, stays in his zone. Running back, comes all the way through, around the edge, wheel route. So how does all this go? Middle linebacker let him go, only one guy through his zone. And let him go, only one through his zone. When they let him go, what do? They turn around and look. Anyone else coming? Not sure yet? Better stay. Think no one else is coming? Like in this case, the end. So the end's job is a little bit easier so far on this left side. X comes through. He can look back. He sees the running back is running the other way, so no problem for him. He sees the center running straight up the middle. Probably not a problem for him. So guess what he can do? He looks, no one's coming. He can start going, inching back. Safety knows, uh-oh, X is coming doing post. He's running fast. I've also got the center. Looks like he's going straight through. I got to get back, get back, get back. And look at the position he's in. He knows he has one guy in his zone. There's a potentially another guy coming right up the middle, which in cover two, right up the middle is really hard because you're looking at halves. So you can see right where this line is going, right in between the two halves. He's got two guys to cover. What's he going to do? He's got to be back. Safety, this safety, Y comes through. I guess let's start with the end first. Y comes through. He's got to take him. Uh-oh, he can let one go. Can't let two go, though. As soon as he lets him go out of his zone, he's got to look. And what's he going to see when he looks? He's going to see that the running back is coming right toward him. That's his cue. That's his clue. I got to stay where I'm at. But guess what? This running back's fast. He's going. Looks like he's running past him. I got to turn and run with him. Can't let two go. So this end is in a really important position here because he can't let him go. Safety's got somebody blasting through. He knows, oh no, I got to get back. Got to get back. Take the Y deep. And so then here's what happens. Two guys can actually cover three here. And let's look again from the middle linebacker's point of view. He let him go. As soon as he let him go, he's looking back. What's he see? Running back. Uh-oh, running back might be coming toward my zone. Didn't go to the zone. No one in my zone. Get back. So now the middle linebacker is really covering the underneath throw, the short throw, the safeties are always on the back, covering the deep. Safeties always have to be back. Always, always, always. So here's what happens in previous years. In previous years, it's not going to be this year because we're going to get this solved. In previous years, it goes like this. All right. Start with X. He blasts through. Our ends, they do a pretty good job letting him go. But then they don't look to see what's happening. They don't look to see if the running back is going the other way. And when the running back is going the other way, then they don't get back. Our middle linebacker usually does pretty good letting one go. Then what happens? Running back runs this way. What do we got to get better at? We got to get better at realizing running back's not coming toward me. I got to get back and help my safeties. Safeties, what happens here? Well, safety sees the guy coming blasting through the middle, starts going way too far to the middle. Then maybe this X, instead of breaking toward the middle here, he just keeps going straight. Now the throw is over here. Safety gets caught too much in the middle. What happens to this safety? He sees the Y coming, but he's looking in the background playing, or he's looking in the backfield playing run too much. He sees that running back going, oh, I'm going to go get that running back. He steps up. Now all of a sudden Y is behind him. The safety's in the middle of the field. Quarterback hits this side or this side. That's how it goes in previous seasons, but we're not going to let that happen this season. Our safeties are going to be back this season. And our safeties are fast enough that they can cover, with two people, they can cover three. And the middle linebacker is good enough and fast enough that after one guy goes by him, he can turn and run. He turns his hips and runs back. And now all of a sudden he's a third safety. So it should work. Should work. All right, that's cover two. That's cover two, and that's zone. And let me know what questions you have. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have a little quiz. See if you guys can figure out all these answers.